Hello mate and welcome back to Let's Code Season 6. In the previous episode we used our new prefab class to create a room, and we were able to define different sizes of rooms based on what we input into the XML file. We did also leave a bit of a cliffhanger in that we had the property that we'd added to the XML file for items, but we didn't actually add the code to enable us to turn that XML code into actual game objects in our game world. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So what I've done initially is I have added some stuff to our XML file, and what I've done is I've taken our Elven Garden prefab and I've added two items, both with the same name, but as you can see with different X and Y positions. And what we're going to use this for is just creating two identical items within our room, the Elven Garden room, which I believe is the room we assigned to Jane's room in our map. And we will put in the code now to turn those two XML pieces of data into game objects within our game world. And as you can see here, we have a new class which is derived from our original Health Potion class, and this is where Health Potion Small comes in. We've called our new class Health Potion Small, and all it is a health potion with a value of 25. As you can see here in our constructor, we just jump straight to the super constructor, which is a constructor of the Health Potion class. And if you remember from the Health Potion class, the only property we need to provide is the value that the health potion is going to be worth, which is what we've provided here, so it's going to be 25. And that is essentially all we need to do to create this specific Health Potion Small class. Now we're going to jump into our room class, and as you can see underneath the bit where we create the 2D matrix for our room grid, we're actually going to call a method called setup, so self.setup, and we're going to pass the room prefab in as a parameter to that method. So what this is going to do, it's going to call the method and it's going to say the room prefab that was presented in the parameters for this room, we're going to now pass it forward to this method. And here's what that method looks like. As you can see, this is all still contained within the room class. We've got def setup, so we've created the setup method, and it takes prefab, a prefab as the only parameter. Self is obviously telling the method that we're referring to the instance of the room, not the room class. And then what we're going to do is we're going to loop through the prefab itself, because if you remember, our prefab has a list of items in it, so we're going to use enumerate. So index or index is the first thing that we need to name, and then thing is the second, and enumerate. So index will literally refer to the index, and then thing will refer to the actual object in the list itself. So we go through our prefab's list of items, if there are any, and we say if we find an item in the list that has the same name as this temporary class, let me rephrase this. We're basically creating a variable called temporary class, which is a reference to the class. So because we have put in our prefabs list Health Potion Small, and we have a class called Health Potion Small, we will get a reference to that class from this temporary class equals global square brackets thing. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use that temporary class to create an instance called temporary instance in this case, and it will actually create an instance of that temporary class. And because we've created our class in such a way that we don't need to pass any parameters in, because Health Potion Small's parameters are all dealt with in its constructor, we can actually do that. And then all we're going to do is going to use our add item xy method from our room class to create the item at the location from the get item positions list within the prefab. So that's what this does. This is really simple in its concept, but it's actually really clever in how it does what it does. It just goes through the global list of classes and says, have we got a class called this? In that case, that's what you're going to be. Create an instance of it and then shove it into the add item xy method of this room and put it at the position that's provided by the XML file in the prefab. That's all it's doing. And as you can see here in our new game room, it's 11 by 11 square, and you can see that we've added the two game items to our game room using the prefab. So that's dead simple. Now, here's a bit of a challenge for you. Now that we've covered how to do this with game items, let's see if you can add some more game objects to your map. And also, let's see if now you have the ability to add enemies to your map. We'll cover about how we're going to do that in future, but let's see if you can figure out for yourselves, because basically we've covered all of the code necessary to do so at this point. So you can use your prefabs to add enemies to your rooms, and you can even put them in specific locations or specific starting locations if you so choose. Let me know how you get on in the comments with that, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, you take damn good care of yourselves, alright? Bye bye.